So I'm moving to unit 53, sir.
Yes, you can go. Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. Very, very important thing is that human trafficking. Human trafficking and diaspora, it's we need to discuss in that angle because it also highly related, right? When you talk about this adoption, it leads to human trafficking. So it is very, very social concern, and human trafficking. It is highly when you see the victims, it's mainly our children or below the age of 18 years, and so it's the main concern of the government and main concern of the social activists, non-governmental organization to look into the aspect of human trafficking. Right? When you talk about the human trafficking, what is the difference between human trafficking and smuggling? Okay. And what are the factors and causes of human trafficking? Perspectives on human trafficking. Who are the victims mostly on human trafficking? And how the global studies on human trafficking and how we are going to prevent the human trafficking. So these are very, very the concern issues of the government to look into this factor. So what is human trafficking? Okay. So the United Nations Office on Drug Abuse, on Drugs and Crime, it is defined as harboring or receipt of persons by means of threat or use of force or other forms of coercion, abduction, fraud, deception, abuse of power, or of a position of vulnerability, or giving or receiving of payments or benefits to achieve the consent of persons having control over another person for the purpose of exploitation. Okay, so the definition gives lot of puts lot of technical terms. In simple terms, you are selling a person, okay, and giving the control, or you have the control over the person to exploit, okay, because the person is very, very vulnerable, or you made the person to be more vulnerable. Okay, that's a simple understanding that. So you take the person who is vulnerable and you are doing that because the person is vulnerable, right? So uh, what is the estimation, what is the current scenario? uh, the International Labour Organization ILO estimates that 24 or 25 lakhs people are victims of human trafficking worldwide, including both sex trafficking and post labor exploitation. Okay. Uh, when you say that it is a form of a slave trade, right? So where it was followed in very, very olden ancient period. Okay. And less than 20 years ago, the British, French, and Spanish and other empires practiced slavery and involuntary labor. Okay, the involuntarily you are forcing someone to do the labor, right? Uh, it was only in 1865, the U.S. Congress abolished it. So till then, the human trafficking has assumed as correct. Okay, and uh, human trafficking has its own volume and diverse practices. The advent of globalization, advancement in communication and transportation technologies have made trafficking more widespread and accessible, and they are easily able to do it. So human trafficking can take place within the country and across the border, right? When you talk about that human trafficking, uh, what are the before we go into types, and the victims of trafficking can be found in you can find in restaurants, uh, areas, farms, okay, work sites, okay, many other sectors of society we can find the human trafficking, right? happens in many forms, which is a severe challenge of humanity, affecting many communities and families across the globe. Right? Uh, the 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 transnational crime, which is in which individuals and various organized criminal groups are involved, right? And the group like snakeheads, China, Japan, and Russia. Uh, uh, okay, human trafficking is a severe threat to nation states and it undermines government and territory integrity. Right? What are the as we have seen the definition, uh, right? The when you talk about the human trafficking and smuggling, how many similarities both are forms of illegal or irregular migration, right? Uh, but they have smuggling is related to crossing international borders, unlike human trafficking, which is internal and external migration. The difference between trafficking and smuggling becomes apparent only after arriving the destination country. The smuggled victims are free to leave and look for better options after they arrive at the destination country. That is a smuggle. Okay. So they smuggled and they put in the country. Okay. Then they have the freedom. If you get a better job, you can go. But in case of trafficked victims, they are at the mercy of traffickers because they need to repay the debt or seizure of the documents by traffickers. Secondly, the legal status of trafficked and smuggled persons in the destination country is different. Okay. So the only difference the smuggling and trafficking is smuggling people are free. They are smuggled, they are just cheated and they are taken some amount from them and they are putting into Australia. They go and work somewhere and get a better job. They are free at least. Whereas trafficked people, uh, they their full control is with the trafficker. Okay, who has trafficked them, right? When you talk about here, when you talk about this difference, when you talk about trafficking, persons trafficked are victims, but here, persons smuggled are violating the law. By the law, they are not victims. Okay, and here, trafficking people not need not to involve the actual or physical movement of the victim, but facilitates the illegal entry of persons from one country to another. Smuggling always crosses an international border, but here trafficking is not required for that. So there are a lot of kind of relations between difference between trafficking and smuggling. Okay, so what are the factors or causes of human trafficking? The first one is when you talk about this illegal migration driven by push and pull factors. In general, the migration occurs from rural to urban, from poor to rich countries. So human trafficking is part of illegal migration. Okay, what are the main reasons or factors for this kind of things? The government corruption is the one major thing why this trafficking taking place, and high infant mortality and very young population, low food production, which are the indication of poverty, and political conflict and social unrest are the uh, uh, reasons why the people are trafficked. And the full factors are the false promises or the opportunities or hassle-free entry. So they enter into other countries just like that. Okay, you see some of the newspapers stating that a person spent 60 lakhs, okay, sell 2 acres of land to enter into US, right? And some people, it's really a trafficking and taken and put somewhere and through jungle or some other way. They spent well, 9 months to reach US by walk. Okay, they moved by another paying another 12 2 to 3 lakhs to another person to get an illegal uh, entry to US, and within 14 days he was returned after spending 60 lakhs around and losing his men. Look at not even money, but look at another areas, what the pain he has gone through, right? So there are The governmental corruption, food production, energy consumption are the reasons why these people are trafficked. So, apart from these above factors, internal digital connectivity has increased human trafficking, right? You get a lot of calls that you get a job there, you want to go abroad. Okay, so there are a lot of trafficking that takes place through this digital connectivity, right? So other factors include what why the persons are trafficked is illiteracy, demand for labor, or sexual trade, the ease of travel, poverty. Okay, weak laws are the main reasons, or the awareness of law also main reasons why the people are trafficked, right? So we should look into the human trafficking in various perspectives. When you talk about the migration perspective, human trafficking is nothing but migratory movements between origin and the destination countries. When you talk about the development perspective, when you talk socio-economic development of human trafficking is interconnected. The poor are socially and economically oppressed are most vulnerable in human trafficking, right? So that is the one thing. Another perspective, if you look into market forces and business perspective. So the trafficking is a business activity, right? So where some people do it, right? So they just do it as a business perspective. They go and they do for as a intermediate and do that and earn a lot of money. You also look into the globalization perspective and criminal justice perspective, right? So when you look into the globalization perspective, so the globally they need a lot of skilled and unskilled labors in a less money. So they will do this type of trafficking, right? So for instance, the migrant labor receiving countries like Saudi Arabia, United States, okay, and Indonesia, the globalization reduced the border control. It has resulted in trafficking of labors. The last few decades, we see human trafficking has been rising to meet the growing labor shortage. Okay, so that is the main reason why this doing, and we should look the human trafficking in a human rights perspective too. So, what are the victims of human trafficking? It is cut across the age and gender. Women, children, and men are the victims of human trafficking, right? Trafficking young boys, girls for sexual exploitation, trend in human trafficking, and sometimes they are trafficked for uh, checking the new medicine, right? Uh, they are trafficked for the for whether the can they become the sample for the new medicine, new drugs, right? Or they are used for kind of war related issues and all those things. So they are also victims of both labor and sexual exploitation and medical exploitation, right? Uh, a law has identified the international human rights law has identified the following factors for trafficking of women, such as poverty, lack of economic alternatives, illiteracy, minimal education, abuse, and everything, right? And you see that uh, the external and institutional risk factors are natural disaster, the weak legal framework of the particular country force main reason for the kind of trafficking. Community risk factors, okay, history of migration, youth unemployment, okay, lack of policing and trained activity. Okay, these are the a thing which takes place when it talks about the human trafficking. So workplace risk factors are the reasons, right? Uh, so global human trafficking case studies, you say Africa happens in the illegal, all regions comprising Western Africa, Eastern Africa, Central Africa, is a significant source and destination area, while Southern Africa and serves predominantly as its destination for uh, uh, a place for trafficked people. Trafficking is recognized as a problem more than 70% of Central and Western Africa, almost 90% of the countries in Africa. So internal trafficking from rural areas to metropolitan areas happens in nearly all countries, right? So trafficking is very very important aspect to to understand and what to say. Uh, it clearly says that the main reasons for trafficking is poverty and the knowledge of law and the factors that is prevailing in the particular country, right? uh, so here in India and Pakistan also transit countries for trafficking of the Middle East Asia for commercial sex trade and labor market. So average age of girls from 14, 16 years and 10 to 14 years with the girls young as 8 to 9 is being sold at action, especially in Mumbai and other Indian cities. So according to the estimate, more than 15,000 children and women are trafficked from Bangladesh in the region every year. Okay, you see that now Bangladesh is war is going on, right? So this times the trafficking will take in a heavy. Okay, more will people will be trafficked, right? Because the situation is worsened. So those who are involved in this type of business are very much aware how to trap these people in this type of situation. Okay, so they will definitely take these girls. Okay, our girls are forced to work in India's brothel market. Okay, and here almost 2,50,000 Nepalis from people girls from Nepal are forced to work in India's brothel market, which also receives young girls from Pakistan and Sri Lanka, right? So, according to Indian National Human Rights Commission report in 2005, trafficking from neighboring countries such as Nepal, Bangladesh accounts for about 10 percentage of India's trafficking into brothels, means in prostitution. So, this is the overall scenario. Even uh, in India, it is happening in a larger level regarding trafficking. So, if you, I have happened to be linked with some child welfare committee members, it's worsening to hear that this a huge amount is happening, trafficking is happening in India, right? So, I stop it here. I have seen some questions. So, there are. I'll go one by one questions here. What is the major difference really ruled in divorce in foreign countries comparing to India? It was give a pause. Sir, can you say that some countries support trafficking for cheap labor? See, trafficking is yeah, it is an illegal act. Okay, especially in East Asia, it is trafficking towards East Asia. The Arab countries are high, right? It is not they are legally. It is not. Some countries support. Can you say some countries support trafficking for cheap labor? It is not country supporting, but it is illegally happening, right? See, even in India, taking people from Nepal for the brothel or prostitution cases, okay, but this is a cheap labor trafficking is taking place. Okay, even in Tamil Nadu, you see that the people from north they are coming. It is not uh, they are willingly coming, but there is an agent. It is also, for example, uh, I went to a barber shop who a person uh, from north. I don't want to name any state here. From north, he was in the used to be in the barber shop, so he cuts very well. So he was absent for a few days, and another person was there. Then I don't know Hindi, but a little bit managing with English and then engaging. It was very worsening. Uh, that what he was saying, his wife was pregnant, who was cutting the hair, doing the barber shop, cutting hair previously was his wife was pregnant, and he was asking for a leave for several days to his owner, uh, month, 1 month or 2 months, or sometimes because delivery is very soon. So what happens? He should go to a particular place or his native and by replacing the another person in his position. right? So you see the thing of the kind of trafficking it is, right? So it is a purely an exploitation, a kind of a trafficking, and these people are paid less when compared to the people of the particular region from Tamil Nadu. So this is the it is not government supporting. We cannot say it's government supporting it or any countries, but they are taking and exploiting it, right? When you talk about the trafficking, it is not you cannot when you talk about trafficking, it is it is an intermediate, a kind of mafia, okay, where located in each country, and they are doing it as a business. I gave one example, who the person was trafficked to go to US. Within 40, he spent 50 lakhs. Today I read the newspaper. He spent 50 lakhs selling 2 acres of land, promised that he will go to US in a normal visa, right? And he was put in somewhere. He was happened to go through Mexico, right? So it is very very hard for him because he traveled. He said that I traveled for 9 months inside the jungle, right? So because he cannot return to India as well, because he does not have money. So it is a kind. From then again he paid certain amount there to make that person to go. It's a good time to, because it's this time you can read lot of newspaper to understand how the US is sending people to various countries and putting lot of rules and regulations regarding sending the people. So this type of trafficking takes place, right?
Sir,
uh, where kind of reformation is required and international law should take place into it. Yeah.
sir,
Yeah.
sir, I have a question, sir. Do you think that globalization, along with its accompanied informational age, to quote Manuel Castles, have increased the various manifestations of flesh trade, and this has also increased trafficking, and the role of the state actors and non-state actors in international trafficking? You were referring to the donkey route. The role
Yeah,
of
donkey route. Yeah, donkey route.
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
The role of the state of Mexico, Colombia, and
Yeah.
some European nations. Just in few days ago, Times of India reported about the donkey route and the trivials they faced. Sir, the role of the state actors along with the non-state actors in trafficking of human beings and the flesh trade. Few years ago, I think the British Journal of Sociology published an article regarding the trafficking of the Thai girls who were lured for flesh trade in Australia. In Australia, sir. Sir, do you think that globalization has enhanced the rate of trafficking, especially female trafficking for flesh trade and along with other accompanying just in the within the broad spectrum of entertainment industry, which is also a net.
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely agree with you. It is a cause or factor of globalization as well, right? When the globalization started, they put what the term they put when the globalization has emerged. It's a world become a village, right? It's one what to say. It becomes small after globalization. We can interact and everything, and as well as the technology has improved. What happened, it is a one side, there's a development, we get all type of technology and now we are getting connected and all those things, that's separate. But the another uh, dilemma of that, or the negative aspect of globalization, is such as a trafficking, where people are trafficked heavily, right? You just find, okay, we call it scam, we call it another smuggling or whatever the other terms. You get a lot of calls, right? Even today I got a call stating that, are you interested moving abroad for your job? I have never registered anywhere, right? It is because of this technology improvement we say that it's a globalization, right? We sometimes click somewhere and they will get the number and calling us and doing it. That's one thing. As Dr. Discussed with us now, It is purely of globalization, right?
Sir,
So people,
sir,
yeah,
Sir, and to quote Maria Mais, globalization has also led to feminization of the workforce and the iceberg economy. What's my international sociologist, renowned sociologist Maria Mais, she
okay,
contains, yes, sir, iceberg economy, and the female workforce is the main cooks of this entire iceberg economy, and they were all being encroached into the informal economic sector and for a meager salary, sir. And
yeah,
one of the most important industry is now at the globalized world is entertainment industry with all facets of flesh trade and etc. I can't
yeah, yeah,
elaborate
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And
It
I
is, it's easy. When you talk about trafficking, the first comes as a trafficking for sex. That is a main classification when you talk about various types of trafficking. The sex trafficking comes first, right? So when it happens, that's why I have given an example. Bangladesh is much now in under war, right? Now only they are almost settled, but it is not fully settled. You see, when the very next year, you find the statistics. Okay, after 6 months, if they reveal, there will be a lot of trafficking that have taken place in might have taken place in Bangladesh. You see here, even from Sri Lanka, there are a lot of young girls being trafficked. So the situation of the particular country also plays a vital role when you are talking about trafficking system, right? The government instability, right? Political instability and unemployment, poverty. These are the main factors. Okay, these factors, when its globalization goes high and bringing these very underprivileged or the people who are vulnerable to be the victims of trafficking, right? That is the main reason. And as you said, feminism or certain concepts, the trafficked people are not mainly highly kind of educated or something like that. Sometimes these highly educated or very intelligent people are trafficked for in terms of employment or something. But the sexual trafficking or trafficked for the drug abuse or something like that, or majority of them are underprivileged or from the vulnerable section of the society. All right, we need to read a lot. We need to read a lot, and Chatterjee has given certain publication journals. We need to read to understand the various aspects of this uh, kind of trafficking and its connection with the diaspora community. I hope I enjoyed classes with you, but a lot of questions, a lot of discussion.
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
Yeah.
Can you suggest any what we call the sites where we can find topics on our interests, especially diaspora related kind of thing?
Is website you are asking?
Sites or something like that, where we can go and have an idea about how to write or how to gain knowledge.
Are you all in LinkedIn? Or you all there? LinkedIn.
We are not in LinkedIn, sir. I'm not in LinkedIn.
I also request every one of you be active in LinkedIn. Okay.
Okay.
What is an advantage of being in LinkedIn is, if you post, okay, if you give your, it's not like Facebook. Okay, Facebook
Yes.
also does it, but LinkedIn is a professional body.
Okay.
Okay, it is full of professional body. You cannot be as you are in Instagram or Facebook or any other social media. It's a media for the highly background of the education sector or research, or who are in a teaching or academic or research field. First of all, if you post your, if you open your account and stating that you have done diaspora community and everything, other peoples who are have the same interest or posting the same thing, you will automatically get connected. Either you give a request or they give a request, you get automatically connected, and whatever they post on the particular diaspora community get connected. That's the
Okay.
one thing. All right.
Sure.
The another thing, you should visit the website of India. for example, if it is trafficking or something, you should go and visit the Ministry of Women and Child Development, right?
Okay.
Visit the Ministry of Home Affairs, okay, Ministry of External Affairs, and all those things which gives the various knowledge on how the ministries are dealing with the diaspora people.
Yes.
Okay, that is very, very important. Moreover, the laws related to diaspora community. Okay, if you have that basic understanding, and journals, if you type in the Google Scholar, you get a lot of journals which you can that is not required any kind of reference for it, because based on your interest. For example, diaspora community and trafficking, if you want to study, you can go and have some journals based on it, and download and read the paper. Or diaspora community and marriage system, diaspora community and their settlement. So based on interest it changes, right? So that you can have a lot of journals. But what I request you, because you are all having lot of things, so you can have a kind of good understanding on uh, uh, kind of learning, right? So that is very, very important when we are discussing about diaspora. So have the journals on your own view,
Okay,
but LinkedIn, you can be all your learning are I hope extra, right? After you are done your basic studies or UG or whatsoever, you are doing on your interest. So be active in LinkedIn. Uh, be active in your knowing the various ministries, and you can do a study. You can based on this education, you can do a research, right?
yes.
And contribute. That will be I would like to guide you in that perspective.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. So,
Sir,
I
just
can,
last, sir,
yes,
so last but just I want to share which mainstream discourses sometimes avoid the trafficking of child from the Mushidabad district of West Bengal for
Mm.
camel racing in Saudi Arabia and the Gulf GCC countries, and also during Hajj pilgrimage. With full consent of the parents, they are being trafficked every year. They have no knowledge of the situation of the GCC countries, and with the state and with tacit support of the state authorities, these children are being trafficked to the GCC countries just for begging during the Hajj pilgrimage, and also for camel racing, inhuman camel racing in the GCC countries. I think mainstream discourses avoid this type of references, first for political or religious reasons. I don't know, sir. This wanted to share with all my co-learners, and sir, with also with you, in
Oh, yeah, yeah.
especially Mushidabad and Nadia district in West Bengal.
You probably those may be slum area, something like that.
Entirely rural belt,
Oh,
underprivileged rural belt,
okay.
and the children are being trafficked for inhuman camel racing and for begging during the Hajj pilgrimage. With
Oh,
full
okay.
consent of their parents, they are being
Okay.
trafficked. They have no idea of what is going to happen with them, and this happens. And also from South Chabis Parganas of West Bengal. I,
Okay.
as per I know, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sandra, sir, you want to speak?
no, I was thinking of Karan's, I think Sanjeev asked some website thing, no?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Sir,
yeah.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sanjeev, there are like ILO also collect data, that International Migration Organization, okay?
Yes. Yes,
They
sir.
maintain country specific data. Then, if you want remittance, economic data related to migration,
Sir.
especially remittance data, you can find from World Bank and IMF, okay?
Okay.
Even RBI
Even
also has
even
data.
IAPS will have International Institute of Population Studies.
Yes, yes, yes. So there are
Located.
variety of institutions,
Hmm.
but like Dr. Rex also told, like
Sir.
human trafficking, you have to go to specific human trafficking related,
Sir, sir, sir.
Yeah, uh,
Sir.
Ministry of
Sir,
Home.
are we going to have class on Saturday? with
Now
regard to
we have a pause, then we'll have second year classes we are planning now.
sir.
Okay, we'll
No, sir.
inform.
Sir, second year students have. I mean, I requested for a class on how to write.
No, we are working out too. Now
Okay,
the first year class is over, so
right,
we'll
sir.
on second year. Okay.
Sir, sir, sir.
And I thank you, Devataru is so much active in Sanjeev,
Sir.
Domingos, and Karan. I'm really very happy because you people are.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir, for
Ah,
your thanks, sir. Thanks a lot from my end
no,
for
this,
giving me a
you know,
chance
Devataru,
to express my views.
I enjoy your question answer session.
Yes.
No,
This
sir, I cannot. I failed to attend all the classes due to some,
no
since I do not
problem.
possess a I myself do not possess this mobile phone. I have to borrow it from my spouse. Still,
Okay.
sir, I am grateful to you for giving me the chance to share my views and what I have read through your enlightened study materials
No,
and
you
all.
know that if a student or learner ask question, they will create a best teacher, like
No,
Dr.
no,
Rex.
thanks, sir.
Yes,
Thanks, sir.
exactly, sir.
Anybody who
Anybody
teaches,
will become a best teacher if the
yes,
questions are raised.
and this is a platform, this is a global issue, and we are having student from Zambia, Mozambique, Domingos, then from Dubai and all. We have a different platform compared to many other university, and we have a spot from the all across India and even outside also. So this is a good platform. We have to make sure that this 1 hour talk should not go just like that. We should engage. You see, like Dr. Rex may not be knowing everything, I may not be knowing everything, but we can discuss.
Yes, sir.
Sure, exactly.
So I really feel happy and I request all of you to keep continuing and whenever you come, please, discuss the things. And many things are changing actually. Like he told about human trafficking data. 2020 is different now, different. Every time is different,
Yes, sir.
like he told Bangladesh situation now. 2 years back it was different. Now government is different, social unrest and all this. So it will affect the human trafficking. So many things are based on situation changes. And I think when we discuss and debate, we come out of this textual thing and come to the more pragmatic, more contemporary, and so many things. When you talk about human trafficking, our tests are limited. One unit may be talking about some limited issue, but there are larger issues.
Large.
Discuss only it comes. Okay.
Sir. Sir.
Okay. So I feel happy and I thank you, Dr. Rex, and all students.
Thank you, sir, for this opportunity.
It
The
is.
first time it is I am connected with Noida Regional Center.
Yes.
Uh, Very good opportunities for getting connected with more students. Sorry, learners. I cannot say students, but you are all putting a lot of effort. You are all learners. We are all learners. So I have learned a lot of taking almost 15 classes from last 1 month, and very good learning for me. And I'm getting connected through various learners through IGNO. I was also a student of IGNO. I have done my master's in political psychology. In 2021, I have completed. So you have taken a good choice of doing the course at the IGNO. You have selected open learning or distance mode, and you have selected IGNO for it. You are all thankful of your own thought process to take IGNO because it's one of the world largest university, open university, and renowned university, valid, and this is the first university given NAC accreditation A++, first open university in the country. So in various reasons, IGNO stands for its quality and rather than quantity of learners. So quality started. The text materials or book material they are providing is you can prepare even for IAS exams. The materials what they are giving, so it will be systematically they plan. I have taken a week of training there for particular time in the month of October 2 years back. At that time I learned how systematically they plan for the course material and everything. So I'm very thankful for the university to give me this opportunity to be connected with the IGNOU. And I think it will be pleasure for me, and in more connectivity will happen in future too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
It's my last
Bye.
class.